So according to Khosla theory, that is Lane's weighted creep theory. Lane's weighted creep theory. So according to Lane's weighted creep theory, given by Blix, this theory given by Blix. This is also for seepage analysis of hydraulic structure. So according to Blix, in this theory, had calculated the length of creep by simply adding the horizontal creep length and vertical length also, so thereby making no distinction between two creeps. However, length on basis of his analysis carried out on about 200 dams all over the world and stipulated that the horizontal creep is less effective in reducing uplift or in causing loss of head than the vertical creep. So therefore suggested weighted factor of 1 by 3. So this weighted factor is this weighted factor is 1 by 3. That is for Blix theory or causing the head loss, and also horizontal creep. For horizontal creep the weighted factor is 1 by 3 as against 1 for vertical creep. This is for horizontal, this is for horizontal, and for vertical it is 1, and for vertical this factor is 1. So this can also be written as total length of creep is, that is L equal to LH by 3 plus, that is LV, vertical length and horizontal length of 3. Okay. Also, according to Blix theory, the percolating water follow the outline of base of the foundation of hydraulic structure, or also we can say in other words, the water creep along the bottom contour of the structure, and the length of path that traversed by water is called the length of creep L, and that length of creep is that length of clip L is how much? That length of clip is, we can write here, L equal to LH, that is the vertical length, plus LV. This is the length of clip. So it is assumed in this theory that the loss of head is proportional to the length of clip. And if HL is head loss is the total head loss between the upper stream and downstream, and L is the length of clip, then loss of head per unit of clip length is HL by L, that is the head loss per unit length. And this head loss per unit length is called hydraulic gradient. This head loss per unit length is called hydraulic gradient. Okay, clear? This point is clear to everyone. Head loss HL by L is hydraulic gradient. So also Bleek make no distinction between horizontal and vertical creep. So there is no distinction between horizontal as well as vertical creep according to Bleek's theory. Also, if HL be the difference of water level between upper stream and downstream end, then water will seep along the bottom contour. And if a start percolating at one start point to end point, then in that condition, total length of tape is the travel by the water throughout the bottom of the foundation. That is the calculation part. So, according to Bleek creep theory, seepage theory against safety against piping or undermining. So that is safety against undermining condition. So this is the safety against piping according to theory, according to Bliss theory, the creep length L must no be less than C1 HL, where HL is the hydraulic lace causing flow, and C1 is the lane creep coefficient that is given as per hydraulic gradient and as per types of soil. So for specific soil properties, C1 value is different. So similarly, the column is given in our IS code, and if very fine sand or silt, then lens coefficient is 8.5 and lens hydraulic gradient should be less than 1 by 8.5. And also for fine sand, the lens coefficient value is 7 and the hydraulic safe lane hydraulic gradient should be less than 1 by 7. For coarse sand, the coefficient value C1 is 5 and lens coefficient is 1 by 5. Also for gravel and sand, lens coefficient is 3.5 to 3 and safe lane hydraulic gradient is should be 1 by 3.5 and 1 by 3. These all values given in our IS code or book also. So boulder and gravel also the value is 2.5 to 3 and the lane hydraulic gradient should be less than 1 by 2.5 to 1 by 3. For clay soil, this value is 3.0 to 1.6 and lane coefficient is the Lens coefficient is 3.0 to 1.6, and hydraulic gradient that should be less than 1 by 3 to 1 by 1.6. So this hydraulic gradient, that is HL by L, is then equal to 1 by C1. So hence it may be stated that hydraulic gradient must be kept under a safe limit in order to ensure safety against piping. Safety against piping. Okay. So this value for lens coefficient according to their soil properties is given in table. Also using creep theory and lead weighted creep theory, uplift pressure at any point under the structure can be calculated as, that is, uplift pressure that is UA. This is the pressure under the hydraulic structure equal to H into 1 minus LA, that is given by L. This is the uplift pressure. Okay. And this UA is residual uplift pressure at any point A that have excess hydraulic loss. H is the uplift, total uplift pressure at upstream, that is HL, at hydraulic loss, total head loss. LA is creep length up to point A. Creep length up to point A, and L is the total creep length of the structure. Total creep length of the structure. So on the basis of this formula, we can calculate the total pressure, uplift pressure under the structure, hydraulic structure. So write an example. So in question, using Bleak creep theory, total length is given 64 meter and hydraulic gradient is total length is given 64 meters. So calculate hydraulic gradient according to Bleak creep theory. So according to Bleak creep theory, we have to remember that HL by L should be less than 1 by C. That is, HL by L should be less than equal to 1 by C. This is the condition for the Bleak creep theory. So according to Bleak tables, the structure is safe on gravel and sand, but not on coarse and fine sand, but not for coarse and fine sand, it is safe. So uplift pressure we can also calculate by using this formula. U A equal to H into 1 minus L A by L. So according to this formula, we can calculate the value if head length is given, hydraulic gradient is given, and total trip length is given. So seepage theory, as per Khosla theory, according to Khosla theory, the statement is the seepage water does not seep along the old lines of hydraulic structure as started by Fleet, but on the other hand, this water moves along a set of streamline, and this steady seepage in a vertical plane for homogeneous soil can be expressed by Laplacian equation. So, in Khosla theory, the seepage is analyzed under the hydraulic structure. So, seepage, what is the seepage process? What is the seepage process? Seepage is the process in which any fluid or water can move within the soil strata. So that movement of water is either laminar or turbulent. So if flow is in laminar, then we can apply Dorsila for the analysis. But if flow is turbulent, then we cannot apply the Dorsila. So we have to apply for the analysis first we have to apply by the help of Laplacian equation. So, Khosla already analyzed seepage, by the help of Laplacian equation. So, what is the Laplacian equation? Laplacian equation equal to del square phi by dx square plus del square phi by dz square. So, where phi is the what? Phi is the flow potential, and that is also known as Kh. K is the coefficient of permeability of soil that is defined by Dorsila, and H is the residual head at any point within the soil. Within the soil. Okay. So the above equation represent two set of curves that intersect each other orthogonally, and the resultant flow diagram showing both of the curve is called flow net. That is called flow net. And what is a streamline? What is a streamline? So a streamline represents the path along which the water flows through the subsoil, and every particle entering the soil at a given point of the stream of the work will trace out its own path and will represent a streamline. So the first streamline follow the bottom contour of the work and is the same as Bleak's plot of the tree, and the remaining streamline follows smooth curve transiting slowly from the outline of the foundation to a semi-ellipse, and an equipotential line represents the line joining a point of equal residual head. Then, if piezometer were installed on the equipotential line, then what will happen? How we calculate head? How we calculate head? If piezometer is installed. So if piezometer were installed on an equipotential line, then the water will rise in all of the them up to the same level. So all piezometric has same level of water. Water rises. So every water particle on that line have a residual head H1 on each piezometer, and at the datum point on piezometer, that head is 0. Okay, that head is 0. Okay, this point is clear. For equipotential line, streamline, any doubt, so please ask. If any questions, so please ask. Is there any question? It is clear to all the streamline equipotential line and where we can use Darcy law, where we can use Laplace. This point is clear. Okay. So next is the critical exit gradient. Critical exit gradient. So what is exit gradient and what is the critical exit gradient? Is there any difference? Is there any difference between two? This is represented by IC. This is represented by IC. Okay. So what is IC? What is IC? Critical gradient. So this exit gradient is said to be critical when the upward disturbing force on the grain is just equal to submerged weight of the grain at the exit, and when a factor of safety equal to 4 to 5 is used, then the exit gradient can then be taken as shape. And in other words, the exit gradient is equal to 1 by 4 to 1 by 5 of the critical exit gradient and is ensured to keep the structure safe against the piping. So the submerged weight of unit volume of the soil that is given by a basic formula, that is gamma w into 1 minus n s minus 1, that is already discussed in soil mechanics also. So if that condition is followed, then the critical condition to occur at the exit point is the four total force, upward disturbing force equal to what? Equal to total weight of water acting in downward direction. So that is equal to WS. Also, Khosla is applied for the method of independent variable. For the independent variable. So, in order to Khosla method of independent variable for determination of a pressure and exit gradient for the seepage below a below a below a weir or barrage or any hydraulic structure. So in order to know as to how the seepage below the foundation of the hydraulic structure is taking place, and it is necessary to plot the flow net. In other words, we can say we must solve the Laplacian equation that has the given flow net in Laplacian equation. So this can be done either by mathematical solution of Laplacian equation or by electrical analog method or by also graphical sketching by adjusting the streamlines and equipotential line with respect to boundary condition. So these are the complicated method and are the time consuming also. So we design for the designing of hydraulic structure such a weir or garage or dam or any pervious foundation, Khosla has evolved a simple and quick and accurate approach, and that is called method of independent variable. Method of independent variable. Okay. So what is the method of independent variable? So for the method of independent variable, why Khosla? So what is the method? So in this method, a complex profile like that where is broken into a number of simple profiles and each of which can solve mathematically, and mathematical solution of flow net for this simple standard profile have been presented in the form of equation, okay, different equation and also curve, and which can be used for determining the percentage pressure at the various key points. So the simple profile which are most useful for analysis are: first is the a straight horizontal floor of negligible thickness with a sheet pile line on upper stream and downstream. That profile is given in curve form. So we just try to draw the curve. Okay. So in x-axis, this is the alpha, that is d by 2, and in y-axis, there is a scale of lambda. So the curve is something this is the curvature. This line is the curvature portion. So this is at this point here. Here is the lambda. And here represents alpha. This represents alpha. So according to this curve, according to this profile, this complex profile like a whereas that is used for the given value. So a straight horizontal floor of negligible thickness with a sheet pile or line on upper stem and downstream a straight horizontal floor depressed below the bed without a vertical cutoff. So a straight horizontal floor of negligible thickness with a sheet pile line at some intermediate point also. So the key point are the junction of the floor and the pole lines on the either side, and the bottom point of the pile line and the bottom corner in case of depressed floor. The percentage pressure at this key point for the simple form into which the complex profile has broken is valid for complex profile itself, and if correction is applied, so there are some corrections. The first correction is correction for mutual interference of piles. Second is the correction for thickness of floor, and third correction is correction for slope of the floor. Correction for slope of the floor. So correction for the mutual interference of pile that is calculated in terms of C and related to depth of pile line and also B dash, that is the distance between two pile lines. So that can be written as that can be also here written as